What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, Rafa Esparza, coming to you with another great installment of the Bullpen, a joint venture between the Grappling Hour and Inside BJJ. And welcome, ladies and gents, the glitz, the glamour, to the fourth annual installment of the Bullies, an award show where we hand out due and undue recognition for the best in combat sports. I, of course, am your host. I am happy to be here. I am stoked. I don't want to waste your time, unlike other award shows, Nikki Glazer. But instead, we're going to go straight to our panel and say hello to our good friend, Tim Freeman. Tim, how are you doing today, good sir?
What's going on? Happy New Year's, Raf. Great day today. I've been looking forward to our awards show all year last year. I've been taking notes, writing names down. There's nothing more than I like than being a bully. I can't wait to get started.
The award for best shoehorn of the awards name is Tim Freeman. So congrats. We're off to a good start. Kevin Sherrill joining us right now. How are you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing great, man. Just a little pressed before I get to my next court appearance. Got to represent some people and do lawyer stuff, you know.
You, again, the shadiest lawyer of all time. And I'm being honest here in that you really are the Lionel Hutz of lawyers, where, you color a little bit of what is the law? What even are we doing here in a courtroom?
Now, if you want to go toe-to-toe on bird law, I'm ready to do that.
Bird law is great. I'm glad that we do that. I'm more of a maritime. If we're really discussing the awards and what they mean and what they are supposed to be, some people don't know the structure. Maybe they missed the previous 3 installments of the Bullies. But is there a category, perhaps, that you're a little sad didn't make the cut? And I wanted to give you time to go ahead and express that. Tim, was there an award that you wish we were able to give away today?
Yeah, I was hoping to give away our social media influencer in jiu-jitsu award, but I guess that's a little too mean. So that got yanked. I had several things that got left on the cutting room floor. Some of them I can say, and some of them I can't say, but that was one I was really looking forward to. I had a bunch of names on that list, but I can be the bigger man and move forward.
Thank you for that. Kevin, were there any awards you were sad to see go?
Yeah, I was really disappointed that this year we're not doing the best bullpen co-host that's not Tim Freeman award. I thought the nominees in that category were extremely impressive this year, very interesting. And it's a shame they're not getting their moment to shine.
It's not enough that you won the Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. It's that you want an award for doing so. And I find that to be, it's a little gratuitous. Like, the award is being here, Kevin. Just remember that. You had to win something if it makes you fair to be on the show as is.
I would also like the award.
There's no.
If you guys haven't seen the Bullies this year, the awards we're sending out are absolutely incredible. I really want one for my shelf.
That is fair. Tim, I'm looking at you, and I have to say I'm most proud of you because your suit has shine to it. Like, this feels like an appropriate amount of shine on your little collar here, if you would.
Yeah, I was going to bust this out at the PGF grand finale, except I was laid up with pneumonia. It stayed on the rack. And I decided what better of a day than to pull it out for our awards show. It's the Bullies, man. No expenses spared here. I'm going with the Nordstrom Rack tuxedo jacket.
Hey, listen, bro. It gets the job done. And here in jiu-jitsu, I dare you to find people who have quality gis if they're going out there. They use those Walmart gis just like the rest of us. Listen, dude, I'm not above it. The very first gi I had was a judo gi, and I wore that baggy shit as a gift to my friends when they were grappling against me. And they were all like, you probably should get a real gi. And I was like, I don't want to. I don't know if I'm going to stay with this kind of a thing. It was so bad that BJJ HQ, when I tagged them, I was like, damn, that's cool. It'd be nice to have a second gi. Sent me the gi because they're like, brother, you know what? We don't know you. We get that you stuff, you should probably not be embarrassing. So shout out.
Yeah, we just need to help.
It's I was a benefactor of charity. We do have a note here. This is from Bujigatami. It says, an award show on a Monday afternoon? How was I supposed to get drunk for this? You don't listen, dude. Real champions don't ask how they're supposed to get drunk. They just get drunk.
I forgot my dog was sleeping on stage with a microphone. I'm going to go fix that.
Good Lord. All right. Go take care of that, Kevin. Will be rejoining us in just a few seconds. Can I say this? That even when Kevin gets off frame, he still looks incredibly shady. Like, I've never seen anybody go, I have to go for a legitimate reason, which is we could hear your dog on the broadcast. And then as he's leaving, slides out of the panel like,
yeah.
Bro, I didn't trust you to begin with. Now I really don't trust you.
Yeah, what I want to know is who showed up at Kevin's house right now that caused the dog to start barking. That's, yeah.
I think you and I off air have some names that could have actually been.
And the bully goes to.
The bully indeed goes to. Well, there's no better time like the present, so let's just switch. So this year, we're starting off hot with some awards. Some are traditional that you're used to, some are not. The very first award will allow Tim Freeman to have free reign on telling us who he thought was deserving of the most cringe moment of the year. Tim, have at, sir.
Well, thanks, Raph. This is one of those categories where there's lots of folks who are in contention. Like, most of the times in an award show, you have 4, maybe 5 people that are nominated. For most cringe moment of the year in jiu-jitsu, we could easily fill that up with 100 names. But this year, my pick goes out to the competitor who days before ADCC proclaimed himself the double gold winner, posted a fake acceptance speech, and wrote, winning ADCC 2024 was an incredible experience. And then he lost to a purple belt from Daisy Fresh. The internet ate well that day. Let's just say that. The award goes to Nicholas Marigali for his pre-ADCC gold medal speech, 2024's most cringe moment of the year. From me, Tim Freeman, to you, our loyal Bullpen.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Tim. Appreciate that. Kevin, I'm going to come to you next. We're looking for the most cringe moment of the year, sir.
Yeah, I have a nominee.
Okay.
It's not going to beat Marigali, but I think it is important that we recognize greatness among the, as Tim said, hundreds of possible cringe jiu-jitsu athletes out there that give us these moments every year. It's a a rich and deep award. Okay. But I got to give it to Mikey Musumeci, explaining to Demetrius how much he trains, where the math doesn't add up to the amount of hours in a week. How often do you train a week? About 18 hours a day. He just keeps rattling and rattling. And I've heard the defenses. I've heard people say like, well, he meant he would either do it this or this, and then maybe sometimes this. And I'm like, no. We know what he was doing. It's me telling the girl at the gym that I bench press about 500 pounds. It's Ron Burgundy when, I can't remember her name. His love interest walks in and he's going 1,001, 1,002. That's exactly what was happening. My man saw a camera and decided to style. And we saw it. He thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Okay. Let me take a minute here because I need a second to admonish young Kevin Sherrill for disrespecting Christina Applegate, who is one of the all-time greats in this world. Like, not just anybody. You're disrespecting Kelly Bundy. I would have accepted Kelly Bundy if you had it. But instead, you're sitting here being like, what's her name? Veronica Cordingstone? Like, any one of those would have worked. But you didn't remember the name of the reference. So
I was pretty sure it was Veronica, but you know, it's almost worse when you guess and you're just, yeah, whatever.
that part
Vicky.
is true. Nikki. Everybody knows who she is, right? It's Nikki.
Yeah. The girl. Yeah, that goes over well.
Gentlemen, I'll go ahead and mine. All right. Can I tell you the most cringe moment of the year? It literally just happened. It was Kevin Sherrill forgetting who the fuck Christina Applegate is. Disrespectful to the memory of Married with Children. Disrespectful to Christina Who. Disrespectful to everything she's ever done and has been an A-plus star. Go see Dead to Me. She's very good in it. Nonetheless, the reason I have to give Kevin this award and that I don't actually have a real award is because Timothy stole mine. Like, and I was a little sad because we do preparation here. Some of us more than others. And I definitely had that written down. And I knew there was a big chance that we were all going to agree on that. I actually thought Kevin might do Miragali because he, at ADCC, while going through all of these clips, was the most giddy when we were doing the live broadcast. And he's like, well, that's a really good performance from somebody who definitely didn't put pressure on himself in saying he would win it twice. So
I'm just toxic. When it happens in the moment, I'm just like, ooh. Just love those.
I feel like the one thing we didn't prepare Kevin enough for this show, and you would think, you would assume because it's practically in the name half the time, is that the live component lives on forever. And no better use of that than us going through all of our clips this year and maybe 2 or 3 of those clips existing for insanity of all time it happened. For example, Tim, I feel like I should give you the ability to express what you were thinking when that salt packet happened, where it went out both ways, because it was your number 2 moment of the year. Arguably should have been your number. Well, no, it was your number 1. But I don't think people knew it happened. You kind of ratted on yourself.
Yeah, what I was thinking at that moment was, I can't believe I lost to this dude next to me, this ambulance chasing lawyer. All right, on this prestigious production of, I think we were going under the moniker PGF Court. I think we were branding it PGF Court. I couldn't fathom it. It wasn't the first time I lost to him, but I'm like one of the Diaz brothers. Those aren't real losses. Those are just whatever losses. If we had unlimited rounds, unlimited time, I would have won those decisions. And then, I had pre-ripped open this pack of salt, so it'd be easy just to dump it in. Except, I'm a lame brain, and I had pneumonia. That's just going to put that out there. And when I pulled that salt packet up, I pulled it up by the wrong end. So I ripped both sides off. And as I went to pour it in, it just dumped out. And I just looked at it and I thought, Freeman, you can't win for losing. And that's what you get for being a putz right now. And it didn't just go on the floor. It literally went all over me, which was great because my clothes were sticky for the rest of the night. But yeah, a great moment. I'm a big man. I can laugh at myself. Just as well as I can laugh at others. So
that is usually one of the best indicators of a good host. But speaking of a good host, gentlemen, I believe it is time we go to our second award. Maybe you saw it peeking out here just a few seconds ago, but now we go to our second award, which is Creonche of the Year. Now, there are many who contend for this continuously, but only few can ever win the prize possession. We're going to go ahead and start with you, Kevin Sherrill. Kevin, who was your ultimate winner for the Creonche of the Year?
Yeah, in the spirit of this award, I'm giving it to a trader that I think chose her moment very well to exit, and was stated multiple times by the production she left. I'm giving it to Fiona Davies for leaving ADCC for CJI and very publicly talking about the lack of pay for female athletes at ADCC and kind of putting them on blast and choosing her moment to step out and do something for women in jiu-jitsu. And Yeah, women's pro jiu-jitsu. I thought that was a great moment. I think if you're going to be accused of being disloyal by people who have not necessarily shown appreciation for any sort of loyalty or idea of loyalty, like picking that moment and really making it count when the spotlight's on and doing it for other people is a pretty big one. I'm down with that.
Thank you for that. That turned awkwardly wholesome, and I wasn't sure that's exactly what the intention of the award was, but
I have those occasionally. Yeah. I have those occasionally.
Right before we went to air, Kevin's like, are these supposed to be good or bad? I'm not clear. And I go, you know what? Do what you want, kid. Legitimately, it's all on you. Let's go ahead and go to you, Tim. Tim, who was your creonch of the year?
Well, I hope I don't steal your pick again, and listen, I'm going to this well. I'm pulling it out. There's just no way we cannot acknowledge the biggest creonch of 2024. This is a guy who pulled the Benedict Arnold move, split up New Wave to start the B team. Then he single-handedly Moggs Mojasim, ADCC organizer, head of the Gordon Ryan fan club. This is a guy who is putting himself out there, and Craig comes after him, and you know who I'm talking about. You know this goes to Craig Jones, and dusts him. That's not enough. He cements his legacy by winning the first intergender grappling match, WWE style. And if that wasn't enough, he buys Gordon Ryan's Miata and gives it away. This is a flex like no other flexes. The Miata should be put in the Jiu-Jitsu Hall of Fame. Move over, Brazilian top team. There is a new creonch in town. Craig Jones, my hat's off to you.
Well done, Tim. Oddly, he might have been in my list. He might have been a nominee. We'll never know. The envelopes will not be revealed here in my side, but I'll let you know who mine was. It's kind of weird. When you talk about creonch of the year, you're thinking to yourself, well, what did they do to get this? This seems like an award for kind of a shady person. The person who won mine, not shady at all. And in fact, perhaps more than one winner. How is that? Perhaps it's somebody who started this all off by sliding into someone else's DMs. Oh, not usually a good start. But when they slid in, they said, hey, you got any of those Craig Jones Invitationals going on? Because before it was a thing, you need credibility. And how do you get credibility? Well, you need people who are very upstanding gentlemen. Perhaps a set of brothers. Perhaps the Tacketts, who were the first people publicly to go from ADCC to the Craig Jones Invitational. See, most people don't think about that. They might say Craig Jones. He is a creonch. I mean, Craig already said he wasn't going to do ADCC. So, what's he leaving here? And Fionn definitely lended a large amount of legitimacy to this proceeding. Nonetheless, when the Tackett said that they were going to come over from ADCC, being the first brothers to qualify in the same year and making history there, Tackett himself, a 2-time trials winner, everybody took pause and said, oh, that means anybody could leave this. And not only did they do it in a upstanding way, they literally were the equivalent in jiu-jitsu of giving a 2-week notice. And I have to say, there's nothing that angers me more than professionalism. So, congratulations to the Tackett brothers, the split winners of the creonches of the year.
That's a good one. That was a real good one, Raph.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. But the weird part is, I feel like next year it may be harder to top this list because these were people who, by definition, were creonches, but like a true movie, you could see why they had their reasons. So I feel like next year, I don't know that we really get these.
We need someone to start Ninth Planet.
You go down one. It's the Ninth Planet.
I thought the whole reason we did 10th planet is it was debatable there's a 10th planet. Now, I like that Kevin's like, nah, I mean, Pluto went, so 9.
Pluto went, and that 10th one doesn't exist. We're down to 9.
Could you imagine though the marketing for that and just being like, hey, listen, you could go somewhere else and learn a lot more. We actually teach less here.
Yeah, you'd have to flash out 9
Why-
photos, which would be
Oh,
weird.
my-
9's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Like you're like this. Yeah. Why use many word when few word do trick?
This is great. You know, hey, listen, Buju Katami, you're right. There's no way you could have gotten drunk enough for this one. But nonetheless, we will go to our next award. Gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that next award is the worst moment in show. So this was the worst show moment. Tim, I'm going to go ahead and start off with you, sir.
Well, this is easy because I have a lot of grievances with the show, and I'm going back to this. Yes, I am, damn it. Bullpen Court is a travesty of justice, and here's why. And this is an easy one. Look, and I'm going to digress just a tiny bit. I got time. First of all, Kevin in studio, worst moment, period. Worst moment. I was like, oh no, I know this is going to be a problem. And then we get into a very heated debate. It's super big on the legal game right now, and that is Snickers versus Sour Patch Kids. I tied Kevin up in this argument like a little baby with a shoestring. And at the end, I interrupted Judge Judy and lost the whole damn case. And I think if you go back and look, there were lots of bad moments, but that was a true miscarriage of justice. That's the worst moment of 2024. Everybody knows, and Kevin, you know this too. Sour Patch Kids all day over Snickers. I'm out.
Okay.
I'm not looking back. We don't do that here. We live in the moment. This car doesn't have rear view mirrors.
I want to point
There's an
this out.
absolute danger on the road.
Let's take this full screen off and show my reaction because I certainly have one. You know, I'll ask you, Kevin, do you have a reaction to that first?
We don't live in the past at this law firm.
I mean,
We only move forward.
which is very difficult to figure out what happened in the past. You're like, doesn't matter. Now we're just looking forward.
Don't have that kind of memory. I've already left the courthouse. I don't even remember what I had for
Litigation
lunch.
has nothing to do with the past, by the way. Let me.
What's
see
your
if
record? Good.
Let me see if I figure this out. So we have an open-ended question here for worst show moment, and you would think it would be for other shows. Tim, why did you make that about our show? Because we're the ones supposed to be making fun of other people, and you made it about us.
That's right. Because when I wrote that topic, that was fresh on my mind. I'm like, I can't believe I lost this damn court case. I'm legitimately pissed about my court record right now.
Right here, Tim, because we can address this right now. When you mentioned Judge Judy, and I know you're thinking like an offhand comment. Number one, do you know how much money she makes in syndication? The answer is billions, sir. Now, think this through. Is a billionaire going to sit there if you insult her and say, you win? Like, Judge Judy don't take no mess. So why do you think I should?
Well, number one, because you are our Judge Judy in our price range.
Yep. Respectfully, there's a billion reasons.
I saw how you put that judicial robe on, man. I've never seen Judge Judy get caught up in the robe like that.
Yeah, you don't see Judge Judy do many pratfalls, but some of us are committed to our art.
We don't have a bailiff. We have Steven committing assault.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Let me just say this real quick, and I'll put a button on it, because other award winners aren't here to accept their award that is given out, but I'll accept mine, and then I'll go into mine in a minute. I'd like to accept this award. Here's why. Because the worst show moment was your best audience moment. Here's why. You could hear Tim getting very happy that he was going to win, but his eyes were off the prize. That dude did the touchdown dance 1 yard before the finish line, and yet he's blaming other people, whereas I, the adjudicator, the audience, if you would, I had the ability to tell Tim, not good enough. Don't celebrate before you get the win. And yeah, he might have been named the winner, but I think we all know how this goes. Plus, like, do me a favor. Just look at this photo, okay? Just look at these people here. Kevin really needed that. Like really. And
Kevin needed a win.
Kevin really needed a win because I keep a tally of who wins and who loses all these things, and it was starting to edge out where Kevin was doing his damnedest and like, I'm gonna get in a suit and I'm gonna try real hard. And I was like, the argument's not as good as Tim's. Nonetheless, both of you were still wrong on the right candy, and I still entertained your arguments. Tim, when you talk about it, you're using a child's candy for those who probably now have diabetes. So I feel like you weren't being very considerate about that. Nonetheless, I'm going to come to you for the worst show moment, Kevin. And if it's our show, Lord help you if I have a response to that one. All you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bullpen Court is a travesty of justice. Mine's Aiga having all of their entire roster for that qualifier we watched was inaccurate. We didn't even know who was coming up.
That's fair.
We didn't understand. Like, they sent out promotional material as if Andy Varela would be on the team, and then those people weren't on the team, and then like people would swap out randomly, whatever. I just think it was incredibly mishandled. And when your only product, you're $1 million show, and your only product is the talent you have on the roster, and you mess up telling people what talent is on the roster, it kind of feels like you did it intentionally, and I don't really get down with that. So, like, Aiga, you think I forgot, but I didn't. I didn't forget, and that wasn't cool. I expected certain matchups, and then those matchups didn't happen, which is real annoying when you watch a long stream. Don't do that.
Thank you for that. I'm very happy that Kevin's was a logistical anger. Like, not that the show and the trials weren't entertaining in their own right. It was, how dare you tell me someone's going to appear when at the very bottom there's an asterisk that says card subject to change. How dare you?
It was more than half the athletes that were supposed to be on that thing weren't on that thing. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching for?
Here's where I'm confused, Kevin, because I don't know if we're angry at the writer who wrote that one, if they were off the wrong information, if it's the teams, if it's the show. I don't know who to blame here. I just know that we previewed a show one night, and the next day I went to the trials, and for those people there, I go, oh, and then legit surprise on my face when I'm like, what are you doing here? They're like, I'm competing in it. And I go,
yeah, PGF would never.
Right. PGF would never. Wow. Okay. I think we're playing to the audience at this point. All right.
Nah, but really, like, I've never seen it happen at EBI, ADCC, PGF. I really haven't seen, like, we've seen, who are you thinking? We've seen people have to pull out.
There we go.
Roster.
I have seen posters be made. And then, like a true game of Survivor, like, two of those guys are still on there. So cards are always subject to change. I just feel like right now we're also seeing that 10th Planet was announcing, and you can tell me if this is right or wrong, Tim, like the weight classes, and that Gio was moving up a class so that they're actually going to be competing for, I want to say the 132 weight class or something to that degree, where I was like, I think that's Aiga, but I don't even know. There's so many team competitions now.
Yeah, Aiga was a mystery in general. It seemed like it snuck up on the radar. There wasn't a lot of promotion. The seats were empty, right? When you actually watched it, it felt like they had an interesting idea, and they did have some good athletes on the card, but they quite didn't pull off the execution, I think, in a way that we could appreciate.
You know what's crazy? It's still going. The $1 million grabs, it's still happening, and we're talking about it like, yeah, it was a thing that happened. I only know because like I think PJ Barch is in it, Owen Jones is in it, a few of the guys I follow on Instagram, and I see them post about it, and I'm like, oh, it's cool, that's still going, that's neat. And then they'll post highlights. I'm like, wait, it happened? What the?
Yeah, and talk about confusion for CGI, this no super teams thing. When I saw PJ Barch was on another team, I was like, wait, what's happening? Who's going where? So I'm very confused by it, but we'll see how it plays out. My worst show moment actually is a little bit different than both of these young gentlemen here. Let me just tell you, my worst show moment actually came at the end of a certain show. And I was confused as to why it was happening. And I wasn't even the most offended by this. Full disclosure. There's a member of this team that was very, very disgusted by this. But it stuck with me in such a way that I thought, how do you close a show like this? If you're ADCC and you get all the way to the end, you should probably be thankful that your audience stuck with you. But instead, you had Gordon Ryan referring to people as cockroaches at the end of ADCC. And that's not exactly the way of supporting the event. It's a line in the sand. Imagine if you were watching the NFL and they said, did you tune into the Chiefs games, you traitors? Like, no, people are going to watch what they're going to watch. So I felt like for one of our biggest weekends, it was a misfire that really left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And it just really didn't hit home in the sense of we're the A show. If there was any indication they were the B show that week, I feel like that last moment, that last comment, it served the athlete, not the organization, but it sure as hell represented the organization. So there you have it. All right. Gentlemen, we're going to press on. We're going to go to our next topic right here, which is, and Tim, maybe you have to be the one to explain this one. It is the But Why Award. Now, what does that mean?
It means exactly what you think it means. It means like, why? Why did this happen? It didn't need to happen. What was going on? Like, wait, what? It's like the wait, but why? Like, what?
Did you just change the name of the award as you were explaining it?
I do those kinds of things. But basically, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the award.
All right. With that in mind, we're going to start with you, Tim Freeman. Have at.
Well, this is another one of my grievances, and I'm going to lay it out there. Why does this great sport of jiu-jitsu refuse to respect its OG journalists? That's right. I'm talking about us. People who've spent 10 years dragging their pawn shop equipment all the way across the country, covering this sport, no press credentials. You got an influencer who can't triangle their way out of a nap. They get sideline access. Why does grappling make us consistently play mission impossible to sneak into these events? I'm talking about CJJ and I'm talking about ADCC. We all know went down that summer. We were on a spy mission to get in and cover these events. And my question is, but why? It makes no sense to me. You got a veteran team, highly motivated, mostly professional from time to time, who's there on their own dime to cover these events, highlight your athletes, build it up the same way we've been doing for over a decade now. And you can't give me a little itty bitty press credential to get in to do it. So my winner for the But Why Award is CJJ and ADCC on their refusal to grant us credentials.
Tim, here. You're preaching to the choir here. But can I just point out something real quick? I like that you know that one of the knocks us could be maybe they're not professional. I mean, look at this. We have all this box that you see. And at the bottom, we have a bull with an award that's a But Why Award. Yeah, sure. We kind of have some fun here. I just always feel like the organizations that say you need to be professional need to also be professional. Like, I don't think we're out of line in anything that CJI does in terms of silliness or maybe not taking ourselves too seriously. But I do love when people go like, you know what, you guys, just we're looking for a professional coverage. And you go, from who? And where? And how are they being professional? And how are they being entertaining? It's what happens in every sport. And that's why when you see ESPN, they don't do a straight lace version of it. Most of the things have modified. That's why you have Sports Center. That's why we have a certain segment that is Sports Center. Thank you very much for that, Tim. I do appreciate that. I'm going to go to you now, Kevin Sherrill. What is your But Why Award of the year?
Tim nailed it. That's the one I was going with.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Hold on. I'm going to come back to you, but is this really just a grievance from the whole staff?
The airing. This is a Festivus, is what it is. Yeah, I have a my slant on why they need us, and it's straight up like clearly they are losing the likability battle, right? Like they take themselves so seriously that they refuse to like engage with fans. They're not approachable. They're kind of jerks, and like they got certain members of staff sending out death threats and other guys just straight lying to staff. And I'm like, man, there needs to be a middle ground between we have this prestige and we're the guys and we're whatever. Like, even like you're talking about on SportsCenter, all of these genuinely legitimate and prestigious events have commentary guys and pre-shows who are a little more lighthearted, who have fun with the fans, who give them something to engage to. I'm not saying I'm super likable. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But certainly more engaging than certain individuals representing ADCZ. People will tell me they don't like me to my face. I was at Fight to Win this weekend, and I flipped off Elijah Carlton, and we had a nice laugh about it, and it was super fun, which jiu-jitsu is not a very professional industry. Frankly, it's incredibly informal. We fight in pajamas. We can afford to be a little less informal or a little more informal with our presentation, a little more likable, and engage with this small but close-knit community we have.
So maybe people don't know Elijah the way you know Elijah, but I feel like all you were doing in true earnestness was really when you flipped them the bird was just saying hi. Like that's his version of hi. And I feel like there's probably a part of him that really just looked at you and was tear. Oh, God,
he cracked up.
Yeah.
His team didn't think it was very funny. He thought it was funny. So I did it right before two of our blue belts had a match. So we were like walking out for Fight to Win, so and we walked past him, and I went, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
So let me get this straight. You didn't pick the end of the match where it might have been more appropriate. You picked it going into war, like, oh, and he was like, "Damn, gotta respect that." Oh,
you can't do it at the end of the match because if we win, I look like I'm a dick, and if we lose, like I don't know how he's taking it, and if we lose, I really look like I'm a dick. You got to do it before.
I'm so glad that you understand the science behind a good middle finger here. All right, let's complete.
It was considered.
Circle. Let's do this. Let's get all the way through. Hey guys, as the guy who's been around probably the longest, if not the second longest, I don't know exactly how to tell you this, but listen, we are happy to work with everybody. I think that we have a certain level of professionalism that we do. My biggest gripe is this: the inconsistent rulings that happen. So when you talk about but why, listen. I'm pretty good. I do all the follow-up emails. There's a great amount of respect that we tend to have for these organizations. But it's so weird that the inconsistent rulings that happen between things are, oh, well, we need this from this person or this from this person. For us, I think you could say this. Between elected people, even you could accuse us of not interviewing or being supportive of the sport. And I think one misnomer I want to make sure that we take care of here is one thing that I've heard about people in the past is that they think that people who report on this stuff just want the free tickets. And I'll tell you something. If you see the hours that are put into this whole little machine that we do here, there's no free to it. It is time. And not only is it time, it's investment. Like we are invested in these athletes. We spend a great deal talking with them, helping them. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff that you don't see that both those gentlemen on this panel do extensively to try and help build, because we're all trying to build and create a foundation here. What I would say to you is this. When I send the emails or I send the texts, I am looking to do it the right way. And the problem with both ADCC and CJI is we had to do a guerrilla style filmmaking to get interviews. Access, that's all we need. We have our own equipment. We can do all the stuff. But there is a reason you saw our presentation look almost like we had press credentials. It's because we found our ways in to doing what we needed to do. In the future, I would love to just be able to send a note that says, hey, can we report from there? Can we have a on-site coverage guy and watch how the coverage gets better? But That's assuming they want the coverage to get better. Maybe they just want to do it all in-house. Sure, do whatever you want. But I think that you're costing the larger part of making it better and, more importantly, covering it from different angles. Because I would never assume that we're the only game in town that have the angles. And I would tell you, it's best served when you have a multitude of perspectives that show it off. Because then maybe you're showing why it's unique for multiple reasons rather than the one narrative you've got. That's all. Thank you for a wonderful year, by the way, everybody. So anyway, there is that. I'll be sending out my Christmas cards sometime in May. Gentlemen, we're going to go now into our next award, which is Best Use of the Pit Wall. Now, there's a couple organizations, perhaps some homely organizations or gyms that are putting together their own pit walls. I guess the question is, who utilized it best? I'm going to come to you first, Kevin Sherrill.
Andrew Tackett taking Nicky Ryan's back off the wall. It was incredible. He took a running start and hit a sliding arm drag straight to Nicky Ryan's back. Nicky Ryan is kind of good at this jiu-jitsu thing. Andrew Tackett just showed off what might be the highest percentage back take we're going to see for a while. Studying that after the fact was really eye-opening. Liked it a lot. That's easy big credit.
Thank you for that, Kevin. We're now going to go to you, Tim.
Well, for me, there's only one that can win this, and this has to go to Daniel Sattler hitting a flying triangle armbar off the pit wall against Matheus Costa. And Costa tried to turn it into a power bomb. All credit to him. He tried to power bomb Sattler, and Sattler was just like, here, hold my acai. I'm about to armbar your ass. And he pulled it off in great fashion. And when you go back and watch it, you can see the dials turning in Sattler's head as he starts to make his way up the side of this wall and eventually ascends to the top. And you see the light bulb where he's like, I'm about to jump. And he just jumps with reckless abandon. To Costa's credit, he did identify the jump, but he doesn't train flying power bombs. He trains armbar escapes. He wasn't ready for it, and Sattler finished him with the arm lock. It was a great, great example of how exciting the pit wall can be, and I'm picking that as my 2024 best use of the pit wall.
Very nice there, Tim. I appreciate you guys for your contributions there. I would like to kind of modify this very quickly because I don't know if I remember exactly which one it was. So I'm going to have to utilize the collective will of the board here. Was it Pat Downey and Luke Rockhold who both butt scoot to one each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
That was hilarious. I thought you were...
No, I got this. Let me just say, here's the reason why I felt like that one in particular was the best use of the pit wall. First of all, nobody really considered using it as a slide, so take that. Number two, nobody considered using it as more than just a presentation into the match. They're just like, haha, I have arrived. You didn't expect two people who were going to wrestle and were basically promising you fireworks to come in with a wee. Like, that subverted expectations. And to me, I thought, well, it's going to be hard to top that, because if you see a butt scooter do a slide into butt scooting there, you expect that. But those two guys definitely didn't expect that. And it does tell you that in the future, the pit has many uses that we haven't even untapped here. And we're happy to see the pit being used, but the worst use of the pit wall has been the people in the comments. Now, granted, they were saying it at PGF where they're like, needs a pit. And I remember telling them very, very vocally, like, hey guys, every comment doesn't have to be that. Maybe talk about the athletes. But it meant that there was an excitement about the pit wall. And now we see that some of the athletes who are notorious for going off the mats, when they see that pit wall, are like, I don't mind that, because it means they can't run away. So it does solve some problems. And I do see that. It might also be an expensive venture, because I don't know if you've seen some of these like pit walls that people are thinking they're doing. But I feel like lawsuits are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm nervous. Nonetheless, I think we should move forward and continue to utilize it. But we've seen a power bomb, we've seen a slide, and we've seen an actual incredible technique that Kevin pointed out here. And I beg to differ on this one thing. It is quite nice to be able to see someone hit a heel hook and that they cannot spin out in infinity. But I do hope that they create so much movement, they might kind of fly off it. Because I think that would be fun. Like if they start tumbling and running out of the heel hook and roll, if you do enough, you might get a little bit of air for like a couple seconds. That's what I want to see. It's just a wish. We'll see if it happens.
I think Andy Varela can make that happen.
Listen, if anybody can make it happen, I think Andy Varela and Canuto just warming up will probably make that happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a couple notes here. I'll address these and then we can go back to do this. Someone said you could also see his head bounce off the floor. I'm trying to figure out what exactly that was in reference.
Costa.
I think that's
it's talking about the power bomb slamming Sattler. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Aaron, what a particular thing to be very pleased about, by the way. We'll be like, yeah, saw a lot of that.
Jiu-jitsu's great.
That CTE. Okay. It says Daniel Sattler, no doubt. And then this is a nice one. Thank you. I wouldn't expect this from somebody named Slimeball, but said y'all crushed it at CJI. And I think they were saying 100% in reference to all of our stuff.
Yeah, that's my alternate account. That's when I have the mustache. That's the one I use.
Kevin.
Okay, Elon, you've been outed.
I was about to say, I'm going to stop the presentation of the awards here just to acknowledge the fact that, Kevin, you have a Dinger account, but it's not you, apparently. Nonetheless, the extent to which you're trying to prove it's not you makes me think it's you.
Yeah. I think you protested too much.
What is this? What is this shrug?
I'm trapped now. It's called a catch-22, man. I can't protest it's not me. And I can't tell you it is because it's not.
The worst is you being like, you send it to us and you go, guys, this is terrible. I can't believe this. And then a couple days later, they say some dumb shit that just strokes your ego. And you're like, actually, you know what? You're a cool guy.
There's more than one. There's a Kevin fan page out there that was pretty active for a couple of years. And I have no idea who it is. And they were just posting like insider information. So like it has to be someone I know. Like I'd win a match in the middle of nowhere, like with no cameras, it's not streamed or whatever. It's just like me and 3 people went out there. And then like, so they have to be in the group chats because like they'd immediately post. An hour later, they're making a meme about it. I'm like, what the So I don't know.
The Kevinettes. They're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
They're everywhere,
I
man.
do think there is one funny part about you saying it like that is you go, there were no cameras anywhere. I made sure of it. I went out to nowhere. So tired of cameras following
middle
me
of nowhere. I knew I was going to lose. So I made sure nobody had a camera.
Amazing. Well, I think we've exhausted that one. We did best use of the pit wall. Let's now go to the most dangerous athlete. A lot of people like to say best athlete or most improved. This is getting straight into who is the most dangerous of the athletes that we all know and love. I'm going to go to you first, Kevin Sherrill.
Levi Jones-Leary. Levi Jones-Leary showcased an incredible guard and with submission wins over Joseph Chin, Roberto Jimenez, Tyree Otolo, and then I think he really put Cade in a bunch of danger. I think he showcased the most dangerous guard on the planet. I want to say like honorable mention at risk of taking y'all's picks. I consider Jet Thompson, but Jet kind of burst on the scene with a bunch of really dangerous submission threats and has since maintained dominance at the high level, but his submission rate happens at a level that's not CJI. So like he may end up being that guy next year, right? May make me eat my words. But for this year, Levi Jones-Leary did it at the highest level and really put an exclamation mark on it. It's got to be him.
Thank you very much for that. Give me just a second here. I just want to make sure I have this correct. It does look like we will be able to Skype in Jet Thompson right now. Okay, Jet joining us. Thank you so much. Nah, nothing? You're going to dead face that one?
Nah.
Okay.
I like talk to him at Chicago Open and shit. Like Jet on my legs scares me. Jet just hanging out talking to Jet doesn't scare me.
Okay,
Sorry.
fair enough. I will clip that part and send that to him. Thank you. Brian,
Go
you
for
heard
it.
me on that. Okay. So, Tim, we're going to come to you next.
Well, here is where I'm going to disagree with Kevin. I know it's surprising. My pick is Jet Thompson. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Jet, he's ornery. You can just tell by looking at him, he's ornery. That grin he's got on his face, he's ornery. He's vindictive. And the part that Kevin's forgetting is he's a minor. Okay. So this means that he can whoop your ass on the court, and then he could whoop your ass in the court if you try to retaliate. You can't put your hands on this kid. He's untouchable. He'll dunk on you in the match, and then he'll take you in for battery and get you in trouble for putting your hands on a minor. He's the ultimate double threat. The kid is so damn good. At PGF Season 6, there was a stack of athletes in the back trying to figure out how to escape his ankle locks. He busted up John Combs twice. He's not to be trifled with. He's a very, very dangerous boy. Jet Thompson, you get my award for the 2024 Most Dangerous Athlete. Congratulations to you.
Thank you for that, Tim. I do want to point this out. It is pretty funny that you guys mentioned this because I had somebody text me that they're stoked that they're going to be at a competition and in the same category as Jet Thompson. And all I could say was, RIP your leg. He hit me back with RIP his shoulder. And I said, oh, you know what, dude? I support you. Yep.
Love the energy.
I'm here for it. I just thought, I don't know that I'm the right person that's receptive to this because I've seen what happened at PGF. And I want all my dogs to eat. Okay. I want all my friends to eat. It's just, maybe you could visualize a world in which you won by advantage. Now, I know it's not sexy. I know it's not cool, but like, let's play within the world that we are currently given. That's all. I mean, ADCC is a very, very friendly Jet Thompson world because he could start pulling guard, even if you out wrestle him.
The Zombieland 2. You know, I love the enthusiasm. You'll be the first to die. Yeah. So, shout out to Aaron Sheffield with that comment. Mateus Shizinski is a solid nominee.
I do appreciate that. And, you know, Spellcheck be damned was not going to come through for what Aaron Sheffield here did not capitalize the M or the S. I think at some point it just gave up on him and said, if you're sending this dude, that's on you. I do want to.
This guy writing the alphabet? What's he doing?
And shout out to the homie, Brian, who has already cut the social media footage. Thank you on that, Brian. You are a rock star. We love you. All right, let me tell you my most dangerous athlete. I think this moniker might be dead, but I'm going to revive it. How do you guys forget the world's most dangerous? Ken Shamrock. Like, it's the branding. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to anoint somebody the new world's most dangerous athlete? And yeah, you've got two people giving very different answers here. You got Kevin Sherrill saying like, hey, listen, Levi Jones Leary. Nobody has that guy as dangerous. But if you think about it, the guard is quite impressive. You got Tim that's saying, oh, what about Jet Thompson? A terror in that world. That makes sense. But what about Marcin Marsulovic? Thank you. Aaron, you and me, same time. If you want to talk about the boogeyman of PGF Season 6, it was Jet. Season 7, Marcin. And to the point where people were like, I don't want to match with that guy. I won't even name names. Maybe even people on this panel said it. I don't know. Maybe somebody who jumped in at the last minute put it into their contract that they weren't going to show up in a match against Marcin. Seen here meditating, so that he would not look bad in a match. Now back to full screen me, just so we can reveal what Kevin does in between answers. You know what's weird is
I get caught
you
so
get caught
often.
so often, and I don't call you out enough on it. But like the amount that you were on your phone is impressive, Kevin. For a guy that's like, I'm getting rid of my social media, but I can't quit you. I love you.
Someone sent me their matchup for an ADCC Open, and I know the opponent. It's one other competitor in their bracket and is asking for strategy. And I'm like, all right, this is how you approach the
when you're on air? This is when
bro,
you choose to respond?
I have so many jobs. Do you know what I'm doing after this? I don't stop until about 10:30. I hop in the car, and I'm training myself for Nogi, and then I'm running competitor class. And I'll leave there at 9:30, drive an hour and a half to get back here. And then I'm done.
Get it. You're a single mom trying to raise 2 kids. It's fine.
For real, man. I'm just saying, like, I won't have a chance to back for like 7 hours.
You don't have a chance to text back. Good Lord. You have your phone on you when you were teaching class. I've never seen a more appropriate person being like, all right, so the gi goes like this. Hold on. Oh, that's good. I'm going to save that one for me. And just do something like this. Like wrap it around. It's all good. You guys got it. Do that more time.
I'm actually not on my phone in class, except to run a timer. I take my job very seriously. Thank you.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to put
one of my jobs very seriously.
Kevin's going to be the worst of us when we finally get my wish. When I finally get my wish that we're on ESPN or Fox, my enemy will not be the audience, the suits, the networks. It's us. Like, I know what's happening now. So
I'm going to have a blue belt to just yank my phone out of my hand when in between cuts.
So let's put this out here. Aaron says, Marcin got slapped in the face at IBJJF and blew the guy a kiss. That's scary. That is accurate. I would agree with that. Okay, what's going on here by BMAC? BMAC, we're giving out awards. So I assume since we do it, we'll see you do it in about a week. And then...
Yeah, you just got most dangerous athlete. BMAC, what are you doing?
Ben Vaught says, Kevin Business Cheryl. So speaking of not paying attention to things, did you happen to pay attention to any part of the show when you were not on the last time, Kevin?
No. I was told to go back and watch it.
You were told to go back.
Some of my students were like, "Bro, it was a good one. Some stuff came up. You should go back and watch it." I didn't know what they were alluding to, and I don't know.
You know what? Hey, credit to your students. 1, for watching. That means they're paying more attention than you. 2, for not revealing what it was, because I thought for sure you would have known what it was we're referring to here. I will see if I have the ability to pull it up, but for the time being, we're gonna move on from World's Most Dangerous Athlete. So mine was Marcin. We're going to go now to the next award, which is Best Karate Integration Award. Now, of course, a lot of jiu-jitsu, let's make it up as we go, but nothing is as prestigious as karate. I think we can all agree that. So why don't we go now to one Kevin Sherrill, who will give his award for Best Karate Integration.
Okay. The Best Karate Integration into your jiu-jitsu has to go to Cade Ruotolo. Delivering a crisp 3-strike combo to Mateus Diniz at CJI after a failed foot sweep attempt. I really love it. I love that he got away with it. I love that we exist in a sport where you can punch a guy a few times and throw a leg kick, and the ref goes, "Hey, man, not real cool." That's all I have to say about it, right? There's no penalty. It's just, hey, bro, come on, we're out here. And then we go right back to it. What is it? Nominee that didn't make it, honorable mention, Max Hansen for up kicking me fucking 17 times in a single match. Good for you. Fantastic. We've all heard about wrestle ups. We hadn't quite experienced karate ups until that moment. Good job being an innovator.
It's really funny because we saw it happen, and it does make sense that you would have feelings about it. Honestly, I'm not mad at you. I think it's an appropriate award to give out.
Listen, someone can only kick you in the chest so many times before it feels personal.
Brother, I don't know if you've felt this even from other people not in the PGF. PGF, everybody is a little heightened. I get that. One dude in a competition push kicked me once, and I was like, this is death now. Like, you've signed an agreement that I was not fully aware of. Okay, good to know. So there is that. All right, Tim, what do you have for us, sir?
Well, I got Wagner Rocha for reenacting the All Valley Karate Tournament at Pit Submissions 8, waxing on and waxing off against Cologne Sabino, painting Sabino's face with his elbows. The only thing missing from that was the beloved crane kick, and we've seen Wagner dust that crane kick off when he kicked AJ off the stage. Kind of hard to kick somebody out of the pit, but maybe we'll see that. Use that ramp wall like you talked about and kick him out of the pit. But it's got to go to Wagner. He put a clinic on Sabino, and I'm not talking about jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about karate integration. Nice job, Wagner. You proved your point, and you went home the winner.
Thank you for that, Tim. Gents, as we do these awards, there are some that are facetious in nature, and then some that I kind of see like, oh, okay, I just don't know what this is. When you sent this to me, Tim, I said, best karate integration? Okay, I might have to stretch the imagination to figure out what that means. Well, that to me says, who is the most Chuck Norris like? Really? Because he does the karate, right? Do we even know? Like, guys, it's been so long. I don't even know. Like, the Karate Kid isn't even the Karate Kid. He's doing like fucking all the martial arts now. So you got to be like the MMA kid if you're doing this sort of stuff. I guess what I can tell you is the best karate integration is, and I hate saying this begrudgingly, but listen, you brand something Mexican karate, you should win this award every year. Here's why. I'm mad that I didn't brand Mexican karate first because it sold very well. And more importantly, nothing's weirder than seeing your friends at different gyms all wearing Mexican karate as t-shirts. So hats off to you, B team. Well done on that. But if we're talking about straight out who's slapping each other with kung fu like precision, I think mine goes out to Andy Varela. Because listen, that dude slapped the shit out of Jet Thompson, and Jet smiled as well. But Andy wanted to introduce him to the world. And I feel like if there's any way you want to get introduced to competition, it's a good slap from Andy Varela. Because it'll tell you, do you really want to compete in this world? And Jet Thompson, like a serial killer, said, I do. It's fun. Let's do this. And I thought, all right, that put both of those boys over. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to the use of the Best Karate Integration Award. Not an award in the least. We're now going to go to our next topic here. This is the Trendsetter of the Year. Tim, I'm going to have you start off.
Trendsetter of the Year. So, I got an honorable mention here, and I'm glad he jumped on the line. And I wrote this down last night when I was writing my thoughts down. Number one is the commish, Brandon McCaffrin. Who else could make wearing sunglasses indoors look so cool, yet ridiculous at the same time? This guy's grappling's Morpheus. Nice job, BMAC, on setting that trend. I'm seeing it all the time. But in reality, I'm going to give this, as much as it pains me, I'm going to give this to Mikey Musumeci for being the first grappler to sign an exclusive UFC Fight Pass deal. This guy is doing big things, and I hope that it's a sign of more big things to come for these grapplers. So I got to give my hats off to him. He also, I think, sets the trend for post-fight interviews or speaking without saying anything. It looks like he downed 3 Red Bulls and ate a pizza, and then he just opened his mouth and let it rip. So that's my chef's kiss to you, Mikey Musumeci. I love you. Rock on. You did a great job in 2024. Keep it up.
Thank you for that, Tim. Let's go down to Kevin Sherrill for his pick.
I've chosen Joseph Chen for his tripod passing and his top pressure. If you've been watching the competitive scene, it has shifted the way people play the top position. Low head position is back, baby. People are already trying to release DVDs on how to deal with it and how to figure it out. Like, this is my answer to his answer to our answer. We've almost lost the thread of where this started, but I want to go back to the guard play versus guard passing game has been changed by a singular teenager yet again. This needs to stop happening. Jet, I think you should look into baseball.
I don't think you can make him take on baseball, Kevin. I just the pleads and the things here, because I did send him a note. I had to make sure he knew that I was kidding, and he said he was dropping out of something, and I was like, phew. And then he just laughed, and I was like, I hope you understand, kid. This is a compliment, but also, like, you could do other stuff if you want to. Like, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even a competitor. I'm not competing against you.
Have you considered other hobbies? Just, see what's out there.
But Kevin ended his plead with baseball? Interesting. All right. Let me go to the trendsetter of the year. I mean, let's just be honest, guys. It's Craig. It has to be Craig. Because no matter what branding you get, Craig is at the forefront of it. And I want to say, obviously, it could be for CJI. It's a pretty notable achievement in 1 year. Going from something that didn't exist to the one that had 97% of the polling in favor of it. Like, once you're over 90%, that's pretty good. But when you ask people what's your favorite promotion, it's pretty impressive. I think the larger achievement is his ability to trend set with what is referred to now as parts unblown, because he's taking the format of one Anthony Bourdain and saying, like, but what if it was me? And you think to yourself, yeah, I kind of would watch that. And I feel like he is starting to reach in ways to broaden the sport and in creative ways that I don't think I see anybody else doing. And I actually have to commend Kevin on that, because I've seen people with his pick with Joseph Chen aggressively using that passing as well. It didn't even occur to me, but that's how meta I think Kevin gets on some of these. That I would agree that is a very solid pick. I almost didn't expect him to have a real answer, so excuse me slightly for a moment, but nonetheless, it was a good one. So good work here, team. As we figured out the trendsetter of the year, we now move to the next topic, which is comeback of the year. I'm going to start with you, Kevin. Who do you have for the comeback of the year?
I have Renato Canuto coming back to competitive jiu-jitsu and having an incredible breakout year. He was on a lot of UFC Fight Pass invitationals. He did the PGF. He got a win over PJ Barch, which is kind of hard to do. He had a phenomenal coming back after I wasn't really interested in competing anymore. I was kind of focused on coaching. Came back, set the world on fire. Great job, man. CJI, PGF, you have all the biggest shows. Good job.
Thank you very much for that. Let's go now. By the way, in case you're wondering, you can see a new interview with Canuto coming up this week on Grappling Hour. But if you're a subscriber to the Grappling Hour Patreon, you've already seen it. Nonetheless, it is coming out this week, and I just want to amend one thing on what Kevin was saying. It wasn't that he was less on competing as much as the focus was going to become MMA. And then he got these lucrative offers to do like CJI and Fight Pass Invitational. But we did talk about that and what to expect in the year 2025. Nonetheless, plug over. Kevin, thank you for yours. Tim, we go to you.
You know, believe it or not, there was a tie for first place for me. And yeah, these two guys had stellar comebacks in 2024. Great jiu-jitsu, great determination, grit, all the things that you want to see out of a combat athlete, these guys had. The first is Nicky Ryan, after a rough 2023, injury-plagued, ups and downs, comes back to who's number 123, becomes only the second person in history to submit JT Torres. It was quite the flex, and you could see from the look on Nicky Ryan's face, he was relieved, and he was also excited and pumped up for the future. So hats off to him. And he ties with Roberto Cyborg Abreu. This is a guy that has been banned for PEDs, benched for 3 years, but somehow still managed to win 80cc bronze. This guy's like the Terminator, but with wrist locks. Hats off to you. you were banned. So comeback player of the year. Good job.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Before I get to mine, I just want to point out here, if I'm looking at my phone, which I don't do as much as some people here, you can see what Kevin is doing with his time because he is, as the show is going on, sharing videos. Now, it's an impressive.
What did I share? What happened?
You shared this one of your boy Sergio, and it just tells me it was 23 minutes ago. What were we doing 23 minutes ago? Let me just double check here real quick. Oh, it was this show. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, clearly Raph or Tim was talking. And I was like, yep, not my turn yet.
No, that's fine. I understand that part. But I'm going to ask you a quick question. I just want a real answer on that one. Have you shared the show?
Yeah.
Where?
It's on my actual profile.
This show?
Yeah.
That's happening right now.
Oh, the one that's currently happening?
Yes, the one that we're doing.
Can you do that?
Like a lawyer. This
okay.
one? You mean actually this one?
Can you do that?
Yes, you can.
We're gonna have a good
Oh.
fair. Yep. Okay.
Someone have like a YouTube video on how to share that? I don't know, man.
All right, I'm gonna mute him. Hey, you guys want to know who my comeback of the year is? I'll tell you. It's pretty simple. It's Kim Kardashian. Done.
Good for her.
Now, some of you guys might be asking yourself, like, how did she get comeback of the year? Well, did you see the video? Her, Ray J, all those years ago? I mean, there was definitely cum on the back on that one. And I just wrote a check out to the estate of Chris Pratt, where I stole that joke from, on set of Parks and Recreation. Anyway, all right.
Oh, yeah. I remember that from the outtakes.
Exactly.
Good job. Good pull. Good pull.
Thank you. Comeback of the year. How do I say this? I mean, listen, guys, you pick some great people. Canuto, A+. Wagner, definitely a great comeback story. I would tell you this year, it felt like, you know, when you look at all of these guys who do these incredible moments or these really impressive things, I was very happy to see a lot of things happen for our good friends, but none more so than I think watching how Kevin Sherrill was able to come back and turn himself into a hero at PGF. Now, this is confusing, and I know I don't like giving credit to our friends here, but like Kevin Sherrill went out there and saw Sebastian starting to stall and then said, no, my son. First of all, you don't do that. I'll show you how to stall here. And had an aggressively fun match to the point where we were looking at Sebastian and being like, I don't know, it looks like somebody's kind of stalling here. So I thought it was kind of impressive that we need to give an award to our own. So congratulations to one Kevin Sherrill for the comeback of the year.
Nice job, Kevin.
Yeah, appreciate it. I had a conversation about that yesterday.
Did you?
But, yeah.
That's good. That's good. And you
should. Probably talks about it every day.
Yeah, I brought it up. No. Yeah, it's like 2 days ago, actually. It was at Fight to Win. Someone was talking about, like, it was really cool seeing their first time ever watching me compete was PGF Season 6, where I absolutely laid a fucking egg. And they were like, man, that was, like, really weird. And then they saw me go out and compete against Sebastian, and I was like, yeah, I swear that's more on brand. Like, I'm actually a very exciting competitor.
Elsewhere, I know what you're capable of. I was just like, I mean, it just goes to show the degree of difficulty that is at a PGF season. But then
PGF is ruthless.
It's hard, dude. Like, people are sitting there being like,
and
man, if I had 2 matches, you'd still be broken. Most people would die.
Dude, and if this is something that doesn't really get talked about, how hard it is to find your rhythm. You know, when you like have a bad competitive, like a bad match, and it kind of like messes with you, and that can snowball bad in a week that's as competitive and tightly packed as the PGF. So thank you. I appreciate it, man. I really like that I got the opportunity to go back in front of the PGF fans and put on a show.
Also, full disclosure, I wanted to see if you were paying attention. And I knew if I said your name, you would be paying attention the entire time. So
About me?
Yeah, thank you for proving me right on this one. As I was looking over and I go, I bet if I say this motherfucker's name, he's going to go.
I heard my favorite word.
Me?
Kevin.
Who? Me? Oh, sorry. What did you say? Sorry. Can we repeat
What's
that?
the,
Can we
the
repeat
jingle,
that?
jingle, jingle?
All right, let's go to our next topic, which is social media fail of the year. Now, I feel like I might have previewed one. But I will say, I'm going to start with you, Tim. Tim, what is the social media fail of the year, sir?
Well, again, this is easy for me. I'm going right back to where I was before. This is Cologne Sabino talking smack about Wagner Rocha and his family on the internet.
Ooh, good one.
Calling him out, saying, I beat Achilles, and now I'm going to beat the old man, shoving Wagner at the press conference, bigging it up on Instagram, putting it all out there, only to get tied up into a pretzel. Sabino got smashed. He got meatloafed. He got marinated. Wagner put on a whole cooking clinic when he cooked Sabino. For me, that's got to be the biggest social media fail of the year. You talk enough trash to get your match, and then you get your match, and you go out there and you get cooked. You don't just get cooked by a guy that's your age, that's in your range. You get cooked by a guy that you were calling an old man, over the hill, past his prime, and here you are putting 3 points down on the mat because you're tired of getting ragdolled around. So my award goes to Wagner Rocha and Cologne Sabino, but mostly Cologne on the social media fail of the year. Congratulations.
Thank you for that. Tim, we now go to you, Kevin.
Mine's ADCC's handling of CJI's emergence. I battled between quite a few of them. We've already discussed a certain individual awarding himself the win. It's no secret that New Wave and ADCC are tightly knit. We've talked about Gordon calling everyone cockroaches. We've talked about Mo pretending there was no money, but there's money for fireworks and, pyrotechnics and various other things, but not for athletes. We have not discussed Seth Daniels sending death threats to Craig Jones. That's a nice one. The follow-up messages between Craig and Mo, Craig and Gordon, them sending them a bottle in the VIP, just the whole shebang was just ADCC taking L after L after L to CJI. I was sitting there wondering the whole time after they decided to go radio silent, why that wasn't plan A. You're not going to win a social media war with Craig Jones. Gordon Ryan's entire career has proved that every time Gordon beats a B-team guy in a match, that guy comes out looking better because Craig is writing their tweets for them. You can't beat them. That has to be biggest social media fail is ADCC's failure to handle CJI emerging as a genuine show.
Thank you for that. Mine is not going to be too far off from Kevin's. I'll just say this. The social media fail of the year was actually the fans in the group chat who were defending ADCC. While we were looking for our best of year clips, there was a couple clips where I went on the offense and I was explaining why certain arguments that people were making about the emergence of CJI were dumb. And you had people talking about loyalty. How dare you do this? Hey, I can't believe this. This might be a one and done. Like every one of the arguments that I refuted in there, it seemed based from real comments from people in the community who were mad at the mere existence, the thought of CJI. And yet, after that event, crickets. Guess what? It was a good event. And we mentioned earlier, better than ADCC this year. And the thing is, deep down inside, the fact that those people who were so vocal became so quiet and mayhaps turned into appreciators. I think that's the social media fail of the year because those people were so angry and they were espousing about loyalty in a way that's like, they're using examples from their own life. That's like, I once had a guy at my gym do this. And it's like, that has nothing to do with ADCC or CJI. Thank you for your irrelevant analysis. I have to tell you, from my perspective, nothing was funnier than seeing people be made to become appreciators of a competitor. And I think there's one thing to learn from that, which is our ecosystem in jiu-jitsu is very unstable. You thought for years ADCC was going to be untouchable. Not the case. This year we found out that something that didn't exist in March is now the top promotion in jiu-jitsu. So it begs to differ that in the next few years, yes, that could change again. Our ecosystem could change again. But it tells you that everything you think you know about the sport is on unstable ground. And that, yes, the future is unwritten. So don't just come into this thinking there's one way to do it. Be open and receptive to it. And you might get what may just be listed here in a couple categories as the match of the year. Just saying. Among others. Gentlemen, we need to press on to our last couple topics here. And I guess it's a good segue into promotion of the year. Kevin, I'm going to start with you, sir.
Yeah, the Professional Grappling Federation. I think CJI obviously is going to get its due. But the PGF growing organically over years and finally getting to step out there and be the show and really grassroots its way to the top. Not to take anything away from CJI, but I really like how organically it's grown into something special. There's a lot more of the people that were there when we were competing, training, putting on a show at 10th Planet Decatur in the gym that are still involved with it now that it's hit the big screen. And it's still growing massively and gaining momentum. I'm going to give it to PGF.
Thank you.
Totally unbiased.
Yeah, I was about to say the check has cleared. Thank you for that. Let's go.
Let me just check my Venmo real quick and make sure that came through on mine as well. There's lots of great promotions this year. Actually, we've seen jiu-jitsu as a product become really elevated compared to what we've seen, say, the last decade. Lots of big names out there, Subversive being one of them. I thought that Eddie Bravo and the whole Jiu-Jitsu Overdose promotion really killed it. That was a great, great concept. They pulled it off very well. And as much as it pains me, I have to agree with Kevin. The PGF for me, top of the line when it comes to the promotions, not just the matches themselves, but the build-up, the documentaries, the interviews, the lead-ins, all of those things went into making this a great product this year. Yeah, there were some complaints. And let's just get this out there. Look, Rap's talking about Reddit Jiu-Jitsu. That's who he's talking about when he's talking about the fans. There were lots of complaints on there. It's too much free Jiu-Jitsu. Oh my gosh, I can't track it all. If that's the biggest complaint about your promotion is that there's too much good free stuff, then you're doing something right. I feel like the PGF nailed it. I feel like they're highly responsive to the events. They're responsive to the fans. Even in-event changes get made based on direct feedback about what's happening. And if a competitor starts gaming the rules, they tighten them up. If they feel like the matches are too tight, they might loosen them up. And that's something that we just don't see right now out of all of the promotions. So my hat's got to go off to Brandon McCaffrey and the PGF crew. They did an outstanding job this year with not one, but two events in the same year that spanned multiple days. It's like 12, 13 days of grappling. They did a fantastic job, and I just don't see any other way you can look past that.
Thank you very much, Tim. All right. I'll get you guys with mine. Do you expect me not to say the PGF? Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah, you could say that we're a little biased here because we are the pre and post show for that. But you would think that that would also, by default, make us more critical of those that we're not invited to. But I would say a nice, worthy second place goes to Craig Jones Invitational. It was a great event. It went out of nowhere. A lot of really good stuff happened. Memorable moments. Epic. All time. But I want to bring this one argument up to your attention. People literally die at the PGF and yet want to come back. Why is that? There's something about it when you are there that feels magical. It feels like you're a part of something that is growing the sport exponentially. It's not to say that other organizations don't grow the sport, and perhaps they do in one shots of adrenaline at a time. The PGF has a nice sustainability. It goes for an entire week. People get at least 12 matches if they don't die. And for me, I always think to myself, people are willing to do so much to get into that one, and the prize money isn't even as big as it is for CJI and other events. There is something to it. I have great hopes for it. I hope we continue to be a part of it. At current plan, we are very much a part of it, but I love the fact that we are definitely involved in it. So if you guys really want to attack us for saying this one, even though we're a part of it, then let me just go ahead and just complete the sentence for you guys. How about best promotion of the year that I was invited to? There you go. You can say that. Because not like we didn't try to get invited to the other ones, is just, stuff didn't work out. But who knows? This year, maybe we see us at the Craig Jones Invitational, perhaps as a pre or post show. We would love to do that. We're open to doing that. But it will not necessarily take away what they did. But at the same point, if you look at the consistency of the PGF, very, very high and classy, and we are happy to be a small part of it. So we look forward to Season 8, which looks to be even more insane. So, gentlemen, we now come to our last topic, I believe, of the year. Let me just double check this real quick to make sure I'm not losing any of these. But yes, we now are at the very last presentation topic, and that one is going to be match of the year. I guess my question to you both is, are we all picking the same one here? We'll start with you, Tim.
Well, probably, and I'll tell you why. I was gonna pick another matchup, and that would pain me to do, but that would be Kevin Sherrill versus walk-on intern young Ben Vaught. And I really wish Kevin would have had his beard, because he's giving off mad stepdad vibes right now with that beard. And I think it would have been awesome if he would have just smoked Ben with that beard. But he didn't have the beard, so I can't give it to him. I'm sorry, Kevin. Plus, you already won an award. Man. So
yeah, I can't wait to get
too many.
It's aggressive.
Sorry about that. So I'm going to pick the match that you're all going to pick, and that's Cade Rotolo versus Andrew Tackett at CJI semifinals. This is a match that had more scrambles than IHOP on a Sunday. It was going mad. I was in the audience. My heart was beating. I was standing up. My head was sweating. It was the only moment where I had to kind of check myself and go, okay, keep it professional. You're not a fan right now. You're just a dude covering this event. But damn, that was an exciting match. And I think it really set a high tone for CJI. Basically, this is what we can do. With the right athletes, with this format, we could put matches on like this. It was a super exciting match. And there was $1 million down the line for these guys. And a lot of these guys we know, we've talked to, we've been around. We know what their life is like. We know what their life story is like. That's life-changing money. That was a very exciting match. Both guys brought it. So my picks got to go to Cade Rotolo and Andrew Tackett.
Thank you, Tim Freeman. We now go to Kevin Sherrill, who will share his match of the year. We'll see if it's pretty much the one that everybody is probably
It's the one. It's Cade Rotolo and Andrew Tackett. I mean, you can put the camera on me and we can talk about it again. I'm just going to steal everything Tim said bar for bar. I feel bad for Levi and Cade, that match, because Levi Jones Leary, he got this close to $1 million. His match with Cade was the second most exciting. The finals match was the second most. He just was this close to everything. So I feel bad for him, but it's Andrew Tackett and Cade Rotolo. That was an incredible match. People are talking about it as the best match of all time, which is it's crazy to sit there and go, yeah, I can see the case. I can see the case for sure. Like the other matches that you have in your head, you know, the Crone versus Gary Tonin or whatever, like Gary Tonin versus Paul Harris, you have to make a case for them. That's incredible. That's incredible. Match of the year, match of the century, man. It's great.
Thank you for that. This is why going.
It's a pickle,
sucks.
Right?
Going third.
Yeah.
Going third sucks on this show, but I do it because I can back clean up and I have the ability to say new things. But you guys said a lot of stuff, so give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Here's what I want to tell you about this match of the year that I think is a little different than what my esteemed colleagues bring up. It met the expectations. If you really think about it, we were so hyped for this event, and $1 million, the stakes could not have been higher in our sport. And yet, in that tournament, where we were all excited by the participants, and you thought many of them were dream matches, nay, many of them could have been super fights on headlining many different cards. Nonetheless, this one worked for this reason. It was the right time for the two competitors who were at arguably, maybe, not even sure yet, perhaps the prime of their career. And they were able to display all the components of jiu-jitsu that you want. Excitement, versatility, technique, speed, aggression, and all done in the confines of a new predictive element in the pit. Because a lot of us want to project what we think could happen in the pit, and those guys made it feasible. They showed you the extent of using every inch of that little arena to make something work. And yet, in many ways, you could see one of them, maybe both of them, figuring out how they could game the system for $1 million. And it was not the $1 million match. And yet that didn't seem to matter. To them, it seemed like a secondary thought, which was, hey, let's just put on a show. And these are two beloved set of brothers that have earned a reputation for an incredible amount of matches throughout their careers. But I know that Kevin mentioned the Gary Tonin Rusimar Paul Howard match. I feel like this is perhaps the next decade's version of that, because you could show that to anybody, like you could with Gary Tonin and Rusimar. You could show that, and somebody who doesn't do jiu-jitsu goes, oh, that's kind of cool. Cade Rotolo, Andrew Tackett is a match that you can show future generations. And as much as they want to make fun of our sport, they're not going to make fun. Kevin, why the fuck are you watching this as well?
I was trying to figure out how to share it.
God damn it. I'm legitimately...
I was trying to figure out how to share it.
Almost over, Kevin.
What's happening here? And
Yeah,
on
but I
that
still
thing,
want to know.
It says Kevin Grapples is also watching. What the fuck?
I'm trying to figure out how to share it. You said it's possible. I don't know.
The show's almost over, and now you're trying to
Yeah,
share
but
it.
it'll be
It's the
good
end
for
of the
next
show.
time. It'll be good for
When the
next
show
time,
is
man.
over and you share it, it goes away. It evaporates.
It's over. Poof.
Yeah,
It's
which is
gone.
why I got to do it now. You know, I got to get reps. Share video?
Yep. You can
Nope.
do that.
See, share video doesn't work. I can send it to people, but I can't post it in my story, which is not the same.
Okay. Listen.
You're willfully ineffective, Kevin, and I appreciate that about you.
He's not wrong. That's a very good way of saying it. Gentlemen, I want to say this. That was, of course, our match of the year. I am increasingly proud of the sport, but I feel like this year we here at the Bullpen have had some great laps. In case you guys missed it, we put together each top 10 list of our favorite moments of the year. And I have to say, in putting those together, I felt like it was a great demonstration of what makes this group unique. Like, Kevin's top 10 is different than Tim's, which is different than mine. But I feel like amongst us, each of us, we picked stuff that showed the entire crew, like what we do that is so unique. So Kevin would pick stuff that's complimenting Tim. I would pick stuff that would compliment Kevin. And Kevin would, again, pick stuff that would compliment him, now that I'm thinking about it. But nonetheless...
Best
I
match,
think-
me.
You know what the funny part is looking at Ben going like, thank you for his recognition. Like,
Yeah, you said thank you. I love Ben, dude.
Pretty sure he's just like, it's just nice to be acknowledged is really what it comes down to.
He's going to win match of the year as a white belt through black belt. That's the goal. Most exciting grappler in jiu-jitsu. Let's go.
But nonetheless, I just want to compliment both Tim and Kevin for their incredible work this year. I think that you guys demonstrate a positive light in covering this sport. So you guys should take that and know that I am very happy with the work that we've done this year. And, obviously these are some gags in the middle of it, but at its core, we are acknowledging some of the best moments in the sport while also kind of calling out and making fun of the less than good stuff. But at its core, very good stuff. So I'll let you guys, do you have anything left to say? I'll give you just a second to say what you want to say and recap the year and in anticipation for what you think may happen in 2025. I'll start with you, Kevin.
Yeah, this year is looking to be an incredible year of jiu-jitsu, man. It's the best time we've ever had to be involved in jiu-jitsu. We've got the PGF, we've got CJI, we've got all of the copycats that are trying to get in because now jiu-jitsu has money. And however that makes you feel as an established whatever, or a new person, or an influencer, or a striker that thinks jiu-jitsu doesn't work, in which case, why are you watching this show? Like however that makes you feel, it's an incredible time, man. Like, we have no idea what 2025 is actually going to look like. When 2024 started, we didn't know CJI and PGF were going to be as big as they are. We had no idea, right? There are names that we have in our head that we didn't know as household names in jiu-jitsu that are now like, we didn't know who they were in 2024. Now they're the guys. They're the guys we're mentioning as like, these are people you have to know, you have to study, you have to whatever. It's an incredible time competitively. It's an incredible time financially. It's an incredible time as a spectator, as a person who appreciates the sport. Let's all just enjoy the ride.
Thank you for that. Excellent work this year, Kevin. You have been an integral addition to the show, and we are glad to have you, sir.
Thanks, man. It's glad to be here.
Yeah, we're living in the gold rush of no-gi jiu-jitsu, and as much as people wanted to push gi jiu-jitsu as far as it could go in terms of being a spectator sport, that's kind of what was talked about my first 5 or 6 years of grappling. We've seen the no-gi game jump leaps and bounds, and we've seen promoters figure out a format that an audience likes to watch, and we've seen the audience respond, and as a result, we've seen investment come in. And that has really been the linchpin that's been missing for many, many years in the jiu-jitsu world. And now we have it. So the recipe's in place, the players are in place, the resources are in place. My advice to you is to buckle up and hold on. And if you're trying to get in, you better get in soon, because once this grows and starts overflowing the riverbanks, it's going to be too late if you're not already in the water. So, gentlemen, it was a great year last year. I had a great time working with you guys. The highlight of my week. I look forward to doing this show every single week with you guys. You guys are professionals mostly, and I appreciate that about you. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate you as well. Well, gentlemen, that is going to do it for us. We want to thank you guys for tuning into us, not just this week, but throughout the entire year. We have had a blast. We will return very soon. I think probably Friday. We'll see. We got to double check on everybody's schedule and availability. But we're going to let these boys get on out of here. Tim, Kevin, go enjoy the rest of your day. I'll close up shop here. But excellent work here, you guys. We will chat with you guys a little bit later.
Peace.
Catch y'all later.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching with us here today at the Bullpen. My name is Rafa Esparza. I am, of course, your EP, your host, your friend. We appreciate you guys for showing up this week, as you do every single week with us. So it has been a blast. We will be having new episodes of the Bullpen every single Friday, or at least once a week, that sort of stuff. But we definitely wanted to acknowledge some of the best of the world that has been happening in the sport of jiu-jitsu. So before we sign off here, a couple quick reminders. First and foremost, if you like the show, like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe, because those things do make a difference for us here on the show. So it really does mean a lot. You can join me on the Grappling Hour. You can find me at patreon.com/Grappling Hour. You can buy some merch at rafasparza.com/merch. You can also head on over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review there, or if you prefer Spotify, rate and review there. Those things, very importante. Last couple reminders, you can also join the Discord of Grappling Hour at Grappling Hour on there, or just hit me up individually. And then, of course, go support our friend Tim Freeman at Inside BJJ. All of those things matter and are greatly, greatly appreciated here. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour and here at the Bullpen. My thanks to you all for an incredible 2024. I cannot wait for you guys to see what we have in store in 2025. On behalf of myself, Kevin Sherrill, Tim Freeman, thank you so much for watching. It has been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.